Hello, everybody. Welcome to the You're Too Valuable podcast. This is your host, Gregory, and I'm here with my other two hosts, Jesse and Robbie. Say hello, everyone.
Hey guys, how's it going out there?
I think we're doing really well. At least I'm going to answer for everybody else. I don't know about them, but if you can tell, my voice is a little bit different from the last couple of times. I have had whatever this is going around. The summer cold, it kind of sucks, but I'm here. And so I have done the little nasal rinse that Robbie told me. It didn't work. Thanks, Robbie. And but we're gonna be talking about promotion to misery today, and how much it is really good to be emotional. And anyway, so we are going to be talking about promotion to misery, and while we're promoting to misery and all the great benefits you get when you become promoted, right? It's going to be great promotions.
Making more money, having a couple more job duties, maybe.
Getting promoted, losing sleep, all kinds of stuff. By the way,
we're going to play this lovely little sound today, and Robbie just did it, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to try to do this. Every time you hear the word promotion, you're going to hear that. We're going to count.
So we can subconsciously brainwash our listeners, kind of like corporate America does to its employees?
No, we do not brainwash our people. Money. Oh, it's always about money. Always about money. No, it is not. People, please no, it is not always about money. Anyway, so let's get into it. We're going to talk about it and how it is, but with climbing that corporate ladder, how you can break through that glass ceiling sometimes, and just all that extra stuff that you're going to get, and what you can and cannot do while we're doing that. So, do you guys have any stories of, being promoted and what it was like for y'all?
Yeah, I mean, I'll start us off. Something that, really comes to mind just from a perspective of mindset. You go in eager, right? You finally make the decision to take a promotion or take a leadership role, or you finally take that opportunity, and your brain is racked. And your brain is in full-on sponge mode in everything that you're doing. And it felt like when I first went into that promotional role, it was like my sleep had filed for divorce. I started to see problems in my interpersonal relationships. These are challenges that later on in my career I've learned are actually pretty common. And a lot of people experience these types of things when going into this. So I want to delve deep into that. Jesse, what are your thoughts?
Well, I have gone through a phase in my career where I was basically known as the fixer, and was sent to a lot of different places to help turn around guest satisfaction scores, finances, operations, things like that, and occasionally would come with a title promotion or a pay promotion. But when I started, there we go.
There we go.
When I was, taking more, I think, of advantage of being the person to go into those disaster war zones with really no support, and just kind of a figure it out mentality, which is good.
You've got plenty of support. You have your HR there to help you support. You also have your senior leadership there to help support.
You must work.
Don't give me that. Don't give me that.
I didn't have an HR department. I was the HR department. So
no, you had an HR department. We've had this conversation. There was HR. No.
Not in every role of mine. Nope, that's not true. It was either me or the owner sometimes that were taking on all the HR stuff. So it would be nice to have an HR office to go to all the time and complain about some things, because I know you like to hear that conversation.
I don't like to hear anything about people complaining. No, complaining is awful.
HR likes to get all the
Greg, did I really just hear those words come out of your mouth?
Nope. I have no idea what you're talking about.
All right.
Is it? Oh, it's gonna be like, is it written down anywhere? But it's kind of recorded, so yeah, it's there.
Yeah. So Jesse, do you mind if I want to talk about like that when you go into a new leadership or a new role, like you were just talking about, you obviously get a new supervisor. They may give you some extra roles, and kind of gauge what your performance is like. But I want to talk about like the 6-month lead up into that, where your previous supervisor's like, oh, I'm going to give them a whole bunch of extra work too, just to make sure that they know that they can handle the next job that they go into and fully take advantage of the employee without that extra pay increase. And those are the types of things I think we segued from last week. What are your thoughts in terms of that first 12, 18, maybe 24 months after a promotion, like even including the 6 months building up to that promotion? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I've worked for companies that have done different things. One that's been very good about developing their employees and us having it into a system online, a program that was created especially for their development and reviews, basically, and have done a good job at setting goals and tracking it and things like that. Otherwise, a lot of companies out there, especially through the different times and economic times that I've worked through in leadership, we don't hire let's say a general manager because we have a great assistant general manager that's floating everything right now. And either the job market is really tight or the finances just aren't there to support both the general manager and an assistant general manager. And so that can get in the way of that. But I feel like a lot of times promotion is just thrown at people and not really focused on, developed. I feel like there's a lot of people stepping into high level positions. Thank you.
I missed it.
higher level positions where they really don't have the experience of the line level associates to be able to be giving any sort of leadership to them, which to me, leadership includes development. And so it just can get into different play spaces when that comes to what does promotion really look like? What should it look like? And how do we effectively go about it without sinking someone into a depth of, I just don't want to do this career anymore. I want to get out of it and change my entire career.
Yeah.
Okay. So
no, I think that's good.
I want to ask my question here. Okay. This is important to me. I know a lot of these subjects that we talk about are very important to me, but this one is too. Whenever you get a promotion, not everybody has had that management experience and been able to lead and lead a team, yet alone lead a process. So when you were talking about this 6, 12, 24-month transition time frame, do you expect somebody to come in and just be willing to do that right off the bat and not have that lead up and that training time? Mm-hmm. Is that what you were saying there?
So, no, what I'm talking about is that's the most critical time for the employee to really establish that mindset if they're going to stay in that position based on the experience that they had. And that includes the 6-month lead up to the promotional period. There's a big fantasy that sometimes is sold leadership. And I think we've touched on this topic a couple of episodes, the past couple of episodes. I think I even brought up a topic, stop fucking lying to your people. Just to really fill those bodies because nobody wants to take those. They see how many people come into those roles and then they quit the job or they step down or they take a lateral move. Nobody wants to stay in that role from an outsider's perspective, but somebody that's actually internally within the company, that's things that people are paying attention to. So that 12, 18-month period is really where you'll see if they're fully invested after making the choice that they did. And that's what I was covering, was just witnessing how people, their experience, all of those things translates into, do they start working towards improving their career to the next level, or this just really wasn't for me. I did my time. Yeah, I'm going back to my previous role, and that's what I was alluding to, Greg.
Well, I think that's with any particular work or new job that you're going to have, and whether that's with a promotion or not, it is going to happen. And I meant to. Oh well. Anyway, so there we go. It's going to work eventually. Oh, I'm learning this stuff. Okay, so just you bear with me. If that's with any new job, you're going to have that transition time, and I think a lot of companies don't give you that capability of having that. And what thing that really gets to me is there's not really good job descriptions out there that's going to explain what you're going to be into. And now, mind you, in an HR world, you have a job description and a job posting. There's two different things, okay? You have your job description, which tells you your full level of everything that's happening in that job, supposed to. Then you have your job posting. That is a sales tactic for you to want to go into that job or that company. Two totally different things. Some companies have blended it together. Some companies don't. So just know when I talk about job description, I'm talking about the entire full thing. Mm-hmm. And I know I have been into it where you get some very vague job descriptions. And with those vague job descriptions, it comes through as you have that one little bullet, which I said before, of other duties as assigned. And everybody loves that. Yep. And I don't know how we as a culture, as a business, can make things go better.
Well,
I have a good... go ahead, Jesse. I'll go after you.
The job descriptions have really just turned into a legal document more because employers trying to protect themselves, and so because they've had either cases against them in the past, or have someone working in their organization that has previous experiences with that as well. They're building kind of some safeguards into that job description. A lot of companies that I've worked at require us to get signed job descriptions from the employee.
Well, that's actually, so I know you want to go, Robbie, but I'm going to interrupt again.
You're fine.
A job description, you have to get signed job description, one, because you're signing what you're actually doing, and two, if you've ever been through a SOC audit or a SOC 2 audit, that's actually a requirement for SOC 2 verification. If you don't know that, but I've had to do some SOC audit stuff, and so that's one of the things I asked for. Go ahead, Robbie.
Never been through one of those audits.
Let me ask you a question. Let's address the big elephant in the room. So, do people that promote really understand what corporate expectations come with the transition from being an hourly employee to a salaried employee? Because there's a lot of gray areas that I really want to touch on with this. Because this is where I believe that burnout starts. Is leaders have a tendency to think that they run the schedule how they want and things revolve around them because you're a salaried employee. Oh, you're on PTO? A 5-minute phone call won't hurt them. Where do we draw the line? And I'm going to tell you, I've been on vacation where I've had to fully suit up and give presentation, and it was an expectation. You're on PTO, what is PTO? So you start to go higher and higher up in the company, and that disconnection becomes practically impossible for some people, especially for those people that have a hard time saying no in the workplace to their direct supervisors.
Well, and that's kind of branching off from the whole job description part. What I was talking about is that's going to be in there. You're going to have to be flexible. Yes, you have that work life balance that you're going to have in there.
Do you know
but
how to
that's what-
pivot?
No, I do not.
Just joking.
Anyways, and oh great, now I lost my train of thought. Anyway, so you're gonna have to go on because it completely went away again.
Yeah, see,
like,
see, that was a mic drop moment, everyone. I just want everybody to recognize that. Ladies and gentlemen, Robbie Rainey has arrived. So let's talk about even just the build-up. How many interviews do you have to go through to actually get selected for the role? How many different frickin' action plans are you having to prepare for each different...
Yes, he said freaking. Way to go! I love it.
So here's the thing. Dude, this really pissed me off. So essentially, companies will basically invite you to kind of create your own set of expectations in writing that they can just hold you accountable to without really having an understanding of what the fuck I'm doing.
Hey,
Especially
other duties as assigned.
It's called balance. All right. What now, Greg? What are your thoughts? I mean, from HR's perspective, do you think some of the wording gets a little murky?
Yeah, absolutely. And so this is where I may differ from jobs that I've had or positions that I've held, because I have a different mindset when it comes to that, when it comes to your work-life balance, what you're going to go for, and setting those expectations. I think I talked about that in one of our previous episodes, is I have a big work-life balance at one of the previous companies that I worked for. That's something that they like completely pushed you to have a good work-life balance. And that's kept me going since then. And for someone who goes into leadership, I've actually been told by a couple of people that I know and trust that, hey, if I don't give up that work-life balance, I'm not going to get promoted. I am not going to have that promotion. And so and that's really scary to me, because as somebody who has his degrees and trying to advance inside of a company, that's scary, because I don't want to give up that work-life balance and have that in there and be able to give that up, because I want to be able to enjoy my life. I want to, what do they say? Do you want to work to live or live to work? Oh yeah. I don't want to live to work. I want to work to live. And so that way I can.
Doesn't seem very possible as an American right now, does it?
No, not at all.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good point. Jesse, I wanted to get your perspective, from the hospitality industry. What was leadership and managerial turnover like in that industry?
Pretty quite frequent. We compare ourselves a lot to like the retail industry. But that's because we're giving jobs that require little to none experience. We typically in retail and hospitality, you hire for the talent and the person and their personality, and do the training afterwards. So that can really disrupt some things if you don't have a great onboarding and training program in place. But I mean, yeah, a lot of times, in managerial roles in hospitality can frequently turn up, especially if you're in a bigger city where there's a lot of different opportunities. People tend to hop around for sure. I mean, that happens in a lot of industries, but there seems to be kind of a theme that managers are looking for a new location, just a year to two after they started at the other one, because were hired, as that person to come in and save the day, and they did, and now they're bored. And so without you keeping them actively engaged and developed to their either in their next role or just being, development and personal growth can come from you being in your same position over a long period of time as well. I mean, these positions, they take years to master, and there's lots of tips and tricks in hospitality that you have to learn to, because there's not a manual out there for when you're dealing with the public, and you have situations that you never thought you would be handling because you're inside of a hotel where people are living and sleeping.
Yeah. Do you mind if I chime in here? I wanted to ask both of you what your perspective is on just every position you've ever been in. I want you to really think about some of the companies that you've worked for in the past where you've experienced being offered, like people being offered a just basically like an acting role for a certain period of time, and what that looked like. So what did that look like, from your perspectives on the outside looking in?
We call that an interim role. Interim, not acting. Interim. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
use the proper terminology for me, please.
It's acting.
No, interim. Thank you.
And action.
And what about that?
Yeah, whenever you're an intern in an interim role, you have to make sure that you're able to do the job and wanting to do it properly. And it is like an extended job interview. And I know, Robbie, you had said earlier that you were talking about how long is the job interview process and blah, 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 blah. Sometimes that job interview is that. Now, the thing
what is that? We need hard numbers here, Greg.
What do you mean that?
Because that's that corporate bullshit. No. That's that HR bullshit. Yeah, because next thing you know, you've been in an acting role for 6 months to a year, and guess what? You ain't got no extra pay, fella.
Can you let me finish what I was going to say? Okay.
Yes, of course.
Sometimes that interim role is actually there. No, I didn't say it. That the interim role is there for you to do the job to make sure that you can do it, handle it properly. And yeah, sometimes it is a long time. The one thing that it is it's not that big of a promotion. And
it's not a promotion at all.
Yes, I know it's not. So I'm not going to play the sound. Oh, yeah, I am, because it is actually a promotion. And so you're taking on that responsibility to do it. Now, you're supposed to be able to do that job and work in it and see and show what you can do for those capabilities. Yes, it is supposed to be a limited time, hence the term interim. And so you're only there for a limited amount of time. Now, when you're talking about this being a year or so, who's to blame for that? Why are you taking an interim role for so long? And look in the mirror and see where your reflection is when it comes to what you accepted. Take
Jesse,
that responsibility.
Let me ask you this, Jesse. You are in a, let's say, a senior level leadership role, and you've been in the role for a few years, and you're going for potentially an assistant vice president. I want to ask you, if somebody came to the table and said, we'd love to have you in the interim role between 6 months to a year, what does Jesse say?
Yeah, that's a tricky one. Because for me, interim means that someone is going to be brought from either like another department or another company. I've seen it a lot of different ways happen, actually, especially with larger corporations and CEOs. But yeah, I'm gonna have some questions, that's for sure. If they are gonna want me to be, you need to find out what their goal is. If it's actually going to be a set promotion, or if we're just needing to cover for someone, because that often does happen. Yeah.
Here's my take. And I think my advice to people that are going into leadership or any sort of promotion opportunity that they were offered. I want people to really think about how are they being approached to go into this role. Is it an actual guided skill set improvement into that role, or is it a manager or leadership within the district or whatever the case might be guilting you into feeling like if you don't take that role you'll never have the opportunity again? And this is something where people start to, if I don't take this role, is my job safe? Like the people, I mean, Greg, I know you've heard lots of stories and from people that thought HR was on their side.
HR is on your side. I don't know how many times I've got to say that. I'm probably going to say that lots and lots of times. But anyways, go ahead.
Yep. As long as it doesn't involve potential lawsuits to the company, we're good. I'll do all you could vent away, young fella. Needless to say, no, I'm really torn on this topic, and I know for the sake of time we've got to start, moving into some other things, but there's so many just pressures that are applied to people indirectly. Like there's the direct message and then there's the indirect message. And if you don't know that lingo and that understanding of the corporate politics and bullshit, you're kind of fucked.
Language.
Needless to say, you can't be just willing to say yes to anything in the workplace because you're not setting the foundation for respectful boundaries between the employer and the employee. And that's that's my take.
But if you're not willing to, how do I say this? If you continuously say no, how is that supposed to look? How is that going to look? That's not going to look.
I never said say no all the time. It's strategy. You need to know when the appropriate times are and when the appropriate times aren't. And you're going to learn by saying no at the wrong time and learning from that mistake. I promise you.
Oh, I agree with you because I've done the same thing. I think all three of us have at one point in our careers. And, they're still young careers, mind you. We're not, that old. So we're still got a long way to go in our careers.
Yeah, a lot of people want to get that promotion and advancement, but there's really some people out there who don't want that promotion. They've seen the burnout that managers go through. They've seen the issues from a corporate standpoint, and they develop a mindset of how corporate is handling leadership and promotions, and they just want to be a restaurant server. They don't want to be the restaurant manager. They want to be a restaurant server for their whole life and be very successful at it and make a lot of money in tips and have regulars that come back to them to see them, and that's a good life for them too. So there's that also flip point where where that's pressure constantly to growing your career, which usually means, well, you need to be the manager now. That's not necessarily true. I mean, you can be growing in your career as a restaurant server, starting at a casual dining. Now you're working in fine dining, making a lot more money too. So,
yeah, I've got some great stories on that. And this is something that I, as an HR professional, have very much taken a passion to, because not everybody wants to advance. Not everyone wants to go into that leadership, that management role. And nobody wants to take over those duties and those responsibilities. And so nobody wants to get that promotion. Sorry, I had to say that at least once or a couple times. But you also know, or some leadership also has to realize, is that just because somebody doesn't want to promote doesn't mean that they're not willing to, or they're not dedicated to their company. I've
Yeah.
had people who are in tip positions who make way more money than I do. And I'm like, man, maybe I should go do that job. There's no way. I love my job. I could not do a tip job. I don't know if
Wrong
I'm
personality.
nah, whatever. We're not going to go there. And so, wow, that really hit home for me. That really hit home. Made me lose my train of thought, but let's get back to it. To where I I want you to be happy with what you're doing and where you're going. And if it's not going anywhere up or just staying completely lateral, why not? Just you need the one pointer that I can give to somebody is make sure that's known. Because if there's that constant no and you don't want to have that guiltness or that guiltiness I think Jesse was talking about of not wanting to promote or what society tells you that you have to become this fantastic leader or whatever like that. I like how you're both laughing at me. You can say no, but just make it known.
Yeah. No, I'm agreeing. Full agreement.
Robbie, do you have anything to say on that one?
You know,
You're kind of quiet.
I think that we're in this corporate mindset, especially publicly traded companies, that we've been established this long. We're such a powerful brand. There comes this like superiority complex, and especially from upper leadership levels, that almost looks down on the front line. And when they get that promotion and the struggles are real and there hasn't been really anything done previously before that, somebody's been placed into a come fix this broken team real quick mindset like we were talking about, and you should be grateful that you got this opportunity in the first place. There's no real room for positive culture improvements. And I think that
wait. Can you I need you to elaborate on that. What do you mean there's no way to your I don't even know what you said because it just threw me off again. What do you mean there's no way to improve it?
I mean, when that superiority complex lies in upper leadership and that's what they're training their direct reports, and it's just that's the way the cookie crumbles mindset in the upper levels of a company, you've got a clean house. I mean, in some scenarios, you have like crossing hierarchies from different departments and multiple people getting paid on the same projects, and you've got 5, 6, 7 ladders up in 2 different departments getting paid for one sale, and it's crazy the bigger the company gets. And if the mindset, and it's just us against them, and it's just this corporate rat race. And this topic like holds very near and dear to my heart, because I feel like there's a lot of phoniness in corporate America. I'm going to say it for what it is. I think that there's a lot of say one thing to your face and another when you're in a room of trusted confidants within the workplace.
Right.
And that culture in and of itself is toxic as fuck. It's so mentally draining for everyone involved, and we just keep doing it. And I've experienced it so many times in different companies, different organizations. That's when I decided to say, I don't want to do that anymore. And I walked away. And I don't have to deal with HR's bullshit anymore. And you know how happy that makes me?
We're doing it now. You're dealing with it's not BS. It's
because I fucking like you, Greg. I like you, Greg. You're the only HR person on the face of the planet I like.
Okay, all right. So I want to kind of and please stop me, but I want to kind of change a little bit. We've been talking about, this corporate crap, blah, 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 blah. What happens when you want to accept a promotion? When things are good and it's a great thing to do. What kind of questions do you ask? What do you want to say?
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody knows. And, and then we also talked about how to turn it down. So let's go to both. How do you turn it down and how do you accept it?
Turn down for what?
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so how do you turn down your promotion?
Jesse.
It doesn't work again.
There we go. That's what I was waiting for. Well, yeah, there's some good questions that you need to be asking. I would definitely be asking to see the job description on that. That's one thing. Companies do look at your assigned job description when you get hired, but then when you get a promotion, where's the job description? Why aren't we going over that? Some employees are pretty good to ask for that, but some managers just kind of forget that. It's like, well, you've been seeing what this person has been doing who you were under for X amount of months or years, and so you should be good to go, right? And it's just it's not like that. And it's we have to look at what's into this promotion that is better but actually is just more. And but again, that just comes down to asking the right questions, and asking some questions, because some people just look you at back of the eyes and it's like, okay, yeah, let's just roll with this, and it's like, no, we can have some processes and better steps in place to go about the promotion as well.
Got it.
Well, I think what the thing that I was hoping to hear is, you want to ask those questions. What kind of questions do you want to ask? Why is this position vacant? If you don't know, what's going on, just like you would normally would do in just about any other interview, because even though it's an internal interview, doesn't mean that it's any different. You need to ask those questions. Ask for money. Ask for what you want from the position. Make sure you state your work-life balance and make sure that that's stated before they even offer you the position. And if it's not for you, say no, thank you. Say, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate what you offer me. This sounds amazing, but it's just not for me right now. And that's fine.
Be direct.
You can do that.
Remove the emotion from it. Stick to the facts.
Too, like, if it's not really actually amazing, I know that's a hard conversation to have, but if you can work on managing up and have that conversation, that's just like, hey, this really isn't a good thing for advancement. Like, can we talk about this? Can we get maybe a couple other employees together and have a panel about this so we can continue to improve our culture, our company, our operations, our positions, trying to go against, if we want to change corporate America, we have to do things different.
Yeah. And something I wanted to ask you, Greg, someone that deals with people going for new roles, new positions, you'd be surprised how many people are just terrified of trying to negotiate. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question really quickly. HR expects negotiation.
100%. If you're not negotiating, I'm like, I don't know if I want to give that away.
You want to play that cash tour one more time?
No, I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
If somebody wants to accept what I give them the first time or what a company would give them the first time, lovely. Great. Yeah. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your hard work. We're going to be along great. Yeah. But why wouldn't you negotiate? You've already been offered the job. And so it's like,
yeah, I think that's one of my most frustrating things, especially where I've gotten promotions applying to a completely different new company, new job, and it's actually been a promotion. And that's one thing that I finally stood up for. on the benefits part was it's like I've been getting so many weeks of vacation over my past years as in a job or whatever. Like, why is it that we have this narrative that PTO is all you get is 2 weeks per year when you start out from a new company, no matter what position you're in? You're like, yeah, no, we need to talk about this because, I'm not only taking on a bigger responsibility, more job and stuff like that, but I've been getting 5 weeks of vacation. Now you want me to accept 2? But a lot of people, like you said, they'll take it because that's what was in the job description. That was what was in the job ad online. That's what they saw as far as the benefits go, and for some reason, don't think that they can ask for that. So, ask for better opportunities for what you need, and what is going to help you take some time, especially with PTO, to get into that promotion, go really hard at it, and then be able to take a breather after a couple months.
Okay. So I think what Raleigh was asking me, and I was trying to think of it while I was listening to Jesse's response, is what can you ask for? What can you negotiate? Jesse just came up with a good one. Your PTO. You can ask for PTO. You can ask for money. In the state of Colorado, I don't know about where everybody's listening from, and I appreciate y'all joining, but in Colorado, we have it to where you have to post the job salary, the range of his job salary, which is fantastic. Love that about Colorado as a person and as an HR person, because that's a very, very difficult conversation to have.
Anyway, they post a range that's $20,000 difference
or more.
So we're okay. So we're going to continue on, but negotiate your salary. You can have your PTO. You have your salary. You have anything that's total rewards related, sign-on bonus, stay bonus, a relocation bonus if you're relocating, a bonus period throughout your first 6 months, a review of your compensation within 3 months. The thing is, and what I have to tell you is when you negotiate these things and you finalize all of it, make sure you get it in writing. Because that's something that they're always like, oh, I don't remember that we had this conversation. That drives me up the wall. And even being in there, I'm like, no. I want it in writing. If it's in writing, it's there. But if
it's not in writing, it didn't happen, according to HR.
You. Yes, very true. And I love that because it's, yeah. Anyways, so anything almost total rewards related is negotiable. And growing up, what I was told is, what's the worst they can say? No? Ooh, it's a no. But you can negotiate it. And if it's a no, hey, at least you gave it your shot. Is that what you were looking for, Robbie?
I did my best.
You did your best. Oh, yeah.
Greg, I want to. You answered my question, and I'd really like to know a little bit about your mindset, Greg. If you could give us just a quick subtext of when you went from being like an individual contributor to HR, what started that mindset transition? What did that process look like?
Yeah.
And are you still happy to this day that you made that choice?
I'll answer the last question first. 100%. Still loved it. Still who I am. Now, there's some things that I fight that's differently when it comes to being in HR, not being in HR. And that's my mindset of I want to be there for my team members, my employees, my workers, whether they're the janitor all the way up to the CEO. The thing that I have to fight myself with is I know that I'm there on behalf of the employer, not the employee. But I'm also there on behalf of the employee. But who pays
Can we get a cash register for that one too?
No, we cannot. I'm not cash registering that one. It is. It's a difficult lesson and a difficult fine line to walk. But for me, I like my people. I would like to know what's going on with them and what's happening. And so, seeing somebody go for a promotion and going for another job or just staying laterally is completely fine with me. And so this is a thing that I like. I had somebody who wanted to get a promotion and to actually do something with their life and move up from one position to the next level. And I said, go for it. Let it be known, and this person eventually got the job and they were promoted. I love it. I love hearing that message. And so going back to your original question is, yeah, I love it. And it's just one of the reasons why I wanted to do this podcast is because I differ a lot when it comes to some certain types of HR styles. I'm okay with that. And does it get me in trouble? Yeah, it does. The thing is I want to do it, and I want to do it for my people. And so I'm hoping over the course of my life, things get better, and podcasts like this aren't necessarily a thing because, our companies are treating us better. And that's the reason why I'm here.
It gives us topics to talk about, I guess, huh, Greg?
It does.
Lots on the HR front.
Greg is committed to allowing problems to continue, to give You're Too Valuable a second chance at life. All right, I love that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No, Jesse, do you have any input or any thoughts on what we just talked about, or maybe from somebody else's perspective?
Yeah, you got to be prepared for all different situations. You got to know what you want. I mean, if it's something that either you're being approached to by a boss for consideration, just keep it kind of in your mind and do exploring and stuff. If you're wanting to put in some extra work, a promotion could be that as well. We have talked about that. It's not always about it's about the work ethic gained as well. And new challenges, new exposure to different maybe departments of the position. Promotion can really provide some good opportunities to you, but it's going to be a challenge because it's something that you haven't done before. Things that we haven't done before, experiences can make us uncomfortable, and uncomfortableness just turns into, well, that was a crazy situation, but it's growth as well. But the things that we've talked to as far as the tips and how to navigate that, if it's not something for you, just let that be known. Let your voice be heard, and have it in your heart what you think is fair and just when you're going through a promotion or trying to just request for more money because you've been in that position for so many months or years that you deserve a bump in salary alone as a promotion as well.
Yeah, no, I love that. And, we've, this is our third episode, and we've started to get a lot of people's feedback, and it's been some really good stuff. We're putting that stuff together, and I know that Greg and Jesse and I are all three very anxiously looking forward to start having guests on our show that we can have open conversations, whether you're somebody that's, having difficulty in the workplace, somebody that's been in the workplace a long time, has seen the bullshit, or somebody that just has a different perspective entirely. We want to invite you guys to, be guests on our show. We want to have the opportunity to see different perspectives and build a community to really make this thing for career professionals. Because
and for me, Robbie, I'm going to interrupt you. I want it because I want to hear your stories. I want to know what's going on in the workforce. Are things getting worse? Are things getting better? And I just want to hear your stories because that allows me as a professional to also grow. So sorry, I had to interrupt there for you, Robbie.
Go ahead, Jesse.
And for submitting those stories as well, you can even be doing that anonymously. If you go to our website, you're2val.com, click on Become a Guest, you can just give us some feedback that we can set up for you. Email us as well. All of our emails are listed on the website. But we want to hear from you. We want to hear real stories that just aren't from our experience, but things that are happening right now in the workplace as well.
Yeah, we've got a lot of exciting stuff coming. We're really putting together some good mom and pop sponsorships to really support those small businesses. We're doing a lot of things in the back end to really, make this a community of the workforce, whether you're in HR or not. We're trying to make the workplace better. And the only way that we can help do that is if we have real conversations about what we're experiencing and what needs to change.
Okay, so I don't know if I caught it. Are we like on all socials? I think we are.
Yeah,
where are we
we're
at?
On TikTok, we're on TikTok, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, we're on LinkedIn, and we've got a website. I mean, we're really working towards making this show, this podcast, awesome. And you're going to start to see some really cool things with our socials as it evolves and this thing grows, as we continue to water it and put Miracle Grow in it. There's some really great things that are coming, and we're all super excited that we're working around the clock to make this thing great for you guys.
So the one thing the reason why I say that is because Robbie created this lovely little banner that is going to be above and below us. That's going to show here, and I think it looks great. There have been.
Do you think it looks great, Greg?
It looks great.
I felt like I had 15 fixes I needed to shut up, Greg. Asshole.
There have been some changes that have been requested on this banner that you see here, and
his name is Greg. The banner's name is Greg.
But thank you, Robbie, for creating a beautiful banner for us that looks good, and hopefully it looks well, and give us that feedback. What are we talking about next time? Do we know?
Yeah, we're talking about Death by Meeting, surviving corporate chaos. What are your initial thoughts on that, Greg?
Meetings are meetings. You're gonna have a meeting about a meeting.
Yeah, why? God, just want to shake them. It could have been in an email, dude.
How many have we had about this podcast?
Let's change the meeting.
I get fired up. I need to tone it down. Every time I think about that, I feel like I get fired up when we talk about corporate America. Anyway,
we're gonna change the meeting, but not update the calendar invite. Okay, so just remember we're changing the meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna love this one because there's some good low hanging fruit that I'm gonna have to bring to the table, but let's table that for next time. Okay.
Looking forward to it.
Kick-ass job today, guys. Appreciate everybody listening. Thanks for
let us know
get in
your
touch
horror
with us.
Stories or things that we could be working on better ourselves. We really want to hear from you guys.
Take
All
care,
right, guys.
everyone. Bye.
Till next time.